little bit different presentation this afternoon. I'm sure a lot of you have seen Agrisense do presentations about pheromones before. I'm sure a lot of you use the products, so I didn't want to spend too much time talking about that. But what I did want to spend a little bit of time talking about was the changes that are happening in the industry, why pheromones and monitoring products I think are becoming more important, and what the future of pheromone products could look like in the future. So there are a lot of factors, a lot of people talking to you at the moment in workshops, presentations about environmental issues, sustainability, biocides directive, and in the food industry for sure, I don't know how many of you are involved in it, but the loss of methyl bromide. All of these things are important issues in how you do your job, in the products you select, and how you work. From our point of view, as a monitoring company, a company that provide traps, solutions, attractants for monitoring, this is all actually quite good news, because monitoring is the first part of integrated pest management. If you do the monitoring properly, it allows you to work more sustainably. It allows you to reduce the amount of insecticide, reduce the amount of chemical you're using. It allows you to treat less often. It allows you to treat more specifically. And with everything that's been thrown at you in terms of environmental issues and sustainability, done properly, that's a huge tool for you guys. That's something you can use to be better at business, something you can use to provide a better service. In the food industry, this is particularly important, the loss of methyl bromide, the cure-all, treat-all for the food industry. What does that mean in terms of treatment? It means there are less options. It means the options are more expensive. It means the customer, the end user, the person who pays for your service, has got to look at what service you're providing. Do they have to shut the plant down to enable you to treat the insects? Do they have to do more localized treatments with heat treatments or steam treatments or cold treatments? What kind of chemicals can you use? Again, better monitoring, proper use of pheromone traps, proper use of monitoring tools means that you can identify the source more easily. You can treat a more localized area. So you can help to provide that better service. You can use the traps effectively to help to be more sustainable, reduce the effect of the chemicals, and to give those people with environmental concerns some comfort about the way that you work. Prevention is better than cure. That's great. It's something we've been preaching for many years. I think it's more applicable now than it's ever been. But essentially, it doesn't do anything for the insects. You still have to make a treatment decision. And this really is the part of the presentation about the future and where things are going. Agrisense as a company has 3 separate divisions. The public health sector that I deal with and what you guys use as products is only a small part of what Agrisense does. We have a huge agricultural sector where we sell pheromone products. We have a retail sector selling home and garden products to home users, amateur users. Different products, but the same principles. In the agricultural sector, these are all techniques that we've been using for many years to actually control pests. So we're using the pheromones as a control tool. And very effectively, attract and kill, mating disruption, which I'll explain a little bit, mass trapping and mating confusion are all techniques that are available and out there in one form or another already. Mass trapping. The trap is the same as the trap you'll see on the stand. It's the same as the trap that you'll already be using for monitoring in some instances. It traps adult male moths. If you use enough of them in a small area and you're only dealing with a small population, it's perfectly feasible that you can control the population just by trapping out adult males. Reduce the number of adult males, reduce the amount of mating, reduce the problem that you're dealing with. Mating disruption. This is actually the biggest range of products that our parent company, Sutera, sells into the ag sector. And mating disruption really means putting so much pheromone out there, and it sounds a lot, so much. It's actually very, very small amounts of chemicals, but you put enough pheromone into the atmosphere that the male moths can't follow the trail to the female. There's no trail, it's just a big mass of cloud of pheromone. So he thinks he's going to get lucky, not a chance, can't find the female. prevents mating, prevents larvae, reduces the number of insects that you're dealing with. It's incredibly effective in orchards, incredibly effective in citrus groves for dealing with pests. Exactly the same principle can be applied to stored product moth. If it can work in the orchard, it can work in a warehouse, it can work in a manufacturing facility. We're doing registration trials at the moment showing that it can do that. That is one of the future developments that you will see in terms of pheromones, pheromone control. Attract and kill. Not dissimilar to the mass trap. You attract the insect in and kill it. That can either be a sticky card, or it might be an insecticide-coated, treated card, or it might be any number of techniques for killing the insect. The process is exactly the same. You're attracting it in and you're killing it. If you do enough of that, you can help to control the population. Big advantages here is you're not using huge amounts of chemical. You're using very, very low doses for attraction. You're not spraying chemical far and wide. You're bringing them into a treated device and killing them at the point that you want to kill them. So it can, again, as I said earlier, help to reduce the impact of chemicals. It can help to give you some environmental advantages. Another technique that you may have heard of, I know there's one or two companies in the industry promoting this quite heavily at the moment, is mating confusion. Slightly different to mating disruption in that what they do is they draw the male in, allow him to become contaminated with female pheromone, and then allow him to lay false trails, if you like. So other males will follow the male rather than following the female. Pick up the same scent from the male, and then you have another male leaving a false trail. Perfectly applicable technique, achieving exactly the same thing. You're stopping the insects mating, so you're stopping the larva production, you're stopping the next generation of insects. Kind of whizzing through this a little bit, but in terms of product developments for the future, from Agrisense, from other companies, what are we looking at, what are we doing? Well, on the monitoring side, bedbugs is a big issue. I know it's a big topic in the industry, everybody's talking about it. We've been looking at bedbug pheromones for quite a while. Hopefully in the near future we'll have a product to sell with the bedbug monitoring traps that you'll see in the Barrettine catalogue, making those traps significantly more effective. Use the attraction as well as the trap, much better results. But there are other insects. I was really interested in the harlequin presentation. Those ladybirds are using an aggregation pheromone to bring the insects inside and overwinter. If you can isolate that and use that against them, there's no reason why you couldn't provide a trap to trap those insects and help alleviate the problem. You know, there are other insects that we're looking at. Constantly looking for new opportunities. So if there's a pest problem that you have, don't be afraid to call the guys at Barrettine. Don't be afraid to get in touch with us and say, hey, is there something you can do for this? And then, as I said, stored product moth mating disruption. We're not the only company looking at this. Everybody sees this as a big opportunity. The loss of methyl bromide, the difficulty in treatment, anything that can help control that pest and control that problem is obviously something of interest to the industry. We hopefully will have a product to launch very shortly, and again, it will just provide you with that tool to reduce chemical treatment, to provide customers who want it with an environmental solution. Okay, thank you.